Welcome to the deep dive for this week. Don't forget to visit the website at deepdiveau.net. Check out our socials and Patreon page at the Deep Dive AU. Subscribe via your favourite podcast app or like and subscribe at our YouTube page at the Deep Dive AU.
The Deep Dive podcast mugs are now available for purchase and are currently on sale. Just go to our merchandise page at deepdiveau.net to purchase one. Don't miss out on this opportunity to grab one for yourself or as a thoughtful gift for a fellow podcast enthusiast.
This is the Deep Dive Podcast. And here is your host, Michael Coles.
Nicole Yeates is a brain changer. She works with individuals in the corporate and NDIS space to reach peak performance using the neuroscience tools. With 18 years working in the occupational rehabilitation industry, she has become an expert barrier cracker, and even a diagnosis of expected death or life in a vegetative state at age 16 could not stop her. Becoming a best-selling author in 2021, she has gone on to blaze her own path in the field of brain health to help people increase their memory, focus, productivity, and grit through getting brain fit. Nicole Yeates, welcome to the Deep Dive. So what is brain optimization assessment and how can it enhance cognitive functions?
It is a mouthful. So when we're talking about cognitive functions, we're looking at memory, mood, focus, decision-making, problem-solving, that sort of thing. And the brain optimization assessment actually allows us to get some insight into which areas of the brain are struggling and need support. So every brain's unique. So every program I do is completely different. There are 16 different brain types, 7 different types of ADHD, multiple types of anxiety and depression. So we look at the brain optimization looks at the root cause of the issues, and basically that leads to creating a brain optimization program to strengthen those areas, to improve the neural connections, brain balance, and information processing.
So how does your Rebuild Your Brain Reserves program improve memory, focus, and overall productivity?
Okay, well, let's start with brain reserves. What are they? So brain reserves are really the physical resilience of the brain, and that's determined by the brain's size, volume, neural connectivity, the number and strength of connections between the neurons, and the ability of your brain to create new neurons so that it can maintain the integrity of the brain. So really by engaging in targeted activities and lifestyle adjustments, the program aims to really build those cognitive reserves back up. We're born with a full set of cognitive reserves, but with age, stress, trauma, lifestyle factors, those reserves can deplete. And the aging process as well. The brain ages by an average of 5%, shrinks by an average of 5% a decade when we get over the age of 40. So what we want to do is build those reserves back up, and that's what the program helps to do.
Okay, so in what ways can personalised brain health strategies assist individuals with ADHD in reducing stress and enhancing executive functioning?
Look, personalised brain health strategies can really be transformative, especially for individuals with ADHD, because it really addresses their unique brain functioning. As I mentioned earlier, there are 7 different types of ADHD, and going through this program really helps to enhance their executive functioning, reduce stress, and there's strategies that are really tailored to the individual's strengths, challenges, and lifestyles. So it really does lead to more sustainable outcomes. And I'll give you an example. Recently, I was working with a lady who had diagnosed ADHD, and after 4 sessions, we'd started, all my programs start with the brain optimization assessment, because we need to know what's happening in the brain so that we can customize strategies to help strengthen those areas of weakness in the brain. So we worked through 4 sessions through doing the brain optimization assessment, strategies to improve her organization skills, because people with ADHD can tend to be time blind, and looking at balancing the brain. So lifestyle strategies and diet changes, supplements to balance her brain. After 4 sessions, she actually had over 1,100% improvement in her focus. So that's making life easier for her. another lady with ADHD, and she was also on the spectrum, really was challenged by having conversations in busy environments. That used to really stress her out, and she'd avoid busy environments to meet friends or, have conversations generally. And that impacted on her work because she was self-employed. So we did the brain assessment, recommended some strategies, and 4 weeks later she called me and said, "Nicole, you've changed my life. I can have a conversation anywhere and I don't feel stupid." So it can really make a huge difference.
Okay, so how can NDIS coordinators utilize customized brain assessments to better support their participants' unique needs?
Well, look, the NDIS coordinators can really leverage customized brain assessments as powerful tools to better understand this, and support their participants. Every participant has unique needs. So these assessments really provide a detailed overview of brain functioning. And by using the assessments, the coordinators can then deliver more precise, impactful, and interventions, which can enable participants to really shine and reach their true potential.
Okay, so what role does growth mindset play in fostering new neural pathways and improving overall well-being?
Yeah, I love this question, Michael, because have you ever met someone who has, that sort of glass half empty approach to life? They say no to everything. No, that won't work. I can't do that. No, 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 no. That person is typically sitting in a fixed mindset, but we can change our mindset. A growth mindset plays a pivotal role in fostering new neural pathways and improving overall well-being. Uh, Neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections, a growth mindset improves that. It encourages behaviors that enhance neuroplasticity. But sometimes our brain's out of balance. And like that person I spoke about at the beginning, the glass half empty kind of person, they're often people that have overactivity in the cingulate gyrus area of the brain, which keeps them in a sort of a fixed, stuck state. And they're typically brains that are low in serotonin. So this is just another example of how looking at the brain can help change that approach from fixed to growth mindset.
Okay, so how can corporate leaders implement brain health strategies to boost employee productivity and satisfaction?
Look, easy stuff really in the workplace that can be implemented immediately are morning teas. Like morning teas in the office are typically cakes and sugary foods. Now, sugar shrinks the brain. So if an employer was to have more healthy options, it's going to help those people, their staff, to be more productive during the day because sugar actually disrupts brain cell firing. It's also implicated in aggression. So, just changing the options for morning teas is just one very simple way that managers can get more productivity out of their staff and have happier staff.
Okay, so what are the benefits of the Pause to Purpose program for individuals seeking to overcome personal or professional challenges?
The Pause to Purpose program is really great for people who might be stuck in jobs that not fulfilling them. Or they're just people that are not sure what their purpose in life actually is. So, look, addressing the specific neural and psychological factors that drive behaviors and looking at your purpose is life changing, to be honest. Like finding your purpose, knowing your purpose is it really helps to build resilience, because when you know what your purpose in life is, you're more driven, you're more motivated. It really is a life-changing thing. So yeah, finding
Okay.
your purpose is very, very valuable.
How does understanding one's unique brain functions aid in overcoming chronic procrastination and lack of motivation?
Oh, look, understanding the brain, your own unique brain, really does provide a roadmap. Okay, so to overcoming that procrastination, lack of motivation, and Yeah, it's individuals really learn how their brain operates, and then they can implement those tailored strategies to activate the areas of their brain that are responsible for motivation, focus, and self-regulation. Now, that can be like chronic procrastination is often caused from underactivity in the prefrontal cortex of the brain here in the front. It's the brain's control center, so the boss of the brain. It's responsible for decision making, planning, and impulse control, all those really important things. So understanding all of that can really lead to strength, to strategies that strengthen the area. And, procrastination and low motivation can also be a dopamine issue. So that can lead to difficulty sort of finding tasks that are rewarding and enjoyable. And some procrastination is actually rooted in anxiety. So understanding the role of the brain functions and then getting your tailored strategies to correct or balance those areas, that can be life-changing and really transformational.
Okay, so what are the key components of the anxiety and depression relief program offered by Get Brain Fit?
Okay, this is an 8-week tailored program, and it's really designed for individuals seeking to take control of their mental well-being. It's specifically beneficial for those people who may have found traditional talk therapy ineffective, or they've done it for quite a while and they've reached a plateau. Or there might be people that avoid revisiting traumatic experiences. They don't want to talk about it. For example, a lady I worked with recently, she had chronic anxiety, which kept her stuck at home at least a couple of times a month, vomiting in the toilet, unable to leave the house. And as a result of that, she felt like she was letting her employer down. She was unable to commit to things, letting her family down, her relationship suffered, that sort of thing. And she'd been having counseling and psychological therapy for a number of years, but she was just kind of stuck. And those strategies that she learned through the counseling helped her to a certain degree, but just to get to that next stage, she needed something different. So she came to me, we did a brain assessment and determined which areas of her brain were struggling, designed the brain optimization program. Look, she only had to have 3 sessions, and basically her brain was more balanced. She was no longer stuck at home. She was much more productive, and it really did change her life.
Okay, so how can a brain health program help recovery from a sports-related brain injury?
Okay, so look, when we're looking at the brain and recovery, getting that brain in balance is critical. So all of starting from knowing what areas of your brain are struggling, that is always the critical factor. Every one of my programs starts with that because we need to know what's going on. Look, recently I worked with a guy who was training for a triathlon, and he had been on the same antidepressant for half a decade. He was struggling. He was struggling with focus, with procrastination, with mood issues. Did a brain assessment, actually determined that he had traits of ADHD as well. So we looked more deeply into that. And I designed a program for him. 4 weeks later, he basically he was like, I can't believe it, Nicole, but like, I feel better than I have in such a long time. And his triathlon training, he actually got faster in his swim and his run times. He was more motivated, more energized, and he couldn't believe how much his speed improved. So yeah, it does make a difference.
And I can't believe what actually sort of you're doing to actually unlock this power of the brain. I think it's fascinating.
Mm.
So, what strategies are employed in the Alzheimer's disease risk program to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's and improve brain function?
So when it comes to Alzheimer's disease, that we can have a genetic tendency towards it because it is hereditary. That increases our risk up to 3 times. But the biggest risk factors are actually our lifestyle. So the 4-week Alzheimer's disease program is really looking at setting someone up for success into the future to reduce their risks of Alzheimer's disease, or if they've had a diagnosis. and they want to slow down that process. We can't cure it yet, but we can certainly slow down the process. The process of Alzheimer's disease starts in the brain about 1 to 2 decades before symptoms of, really serious symptoms of memory actually come to the surface. So that's 10 to 20 years of the brain slowly degrading over time. So we can reverse that a little bit to slow things down so that you have better quality of life for longer. So again, starts with the personalized brain assessment, memory management. We're building the cognitive reserves with new learning, getting those brain healthy habits, looking at sleep hygiene, stress management. And recently I worked with a gentleman who had recently been diagnosed with a type of Alzheimer's disease or dementia. And after 6 sessions, his brain flow improved by over 121%. So that's his ability to focus. And I measure that with this amazing band called the Euphoria band, which is like a mobile EEG. And it goes across like this, and it attaches to my iPad with an app where I can actually see someone's brain waves in real time. So his flow, his ability to focus improved by over 120% over 6 sessions, and his overall cognitive function improved by 119%.
Okay, that sounds very fascinating. I'd like to see what the app actually does. So, what evidence supports the effectiveness of brain optimization coaching and achieving personal and professional goals?
So the effectiveness of brain optimization coaching is, it's basically achieving those personal and professional goals. And it's supported by lots of evidence in neuroscience, psychology, and real world outcomes, like I just, those stories that I told. And the program is also backed off by the Euphoria band, where, I've got real life evidence, in time evidence of, we do this at the beginning of a program so we can measure the brain's information processing ability to focus, stress management ability, that sort of thing. And then we do it at the end of the program so you can actually see the measured difference.
Okay, so how could mindfulness and meditation practices contribute to brain optimization and the overcoming of mental barriers?
Look, mindfulness and meditation are really powerful tools. And despite, people sometimes think, oh, I haven't got time to meditate. It only takes 4 minutes of meditation to start to change the brain. So you don't need to be on a beach for an hour or anything like that. All right. So there's proven benefits with mindfulness and meditation, and that's, overcoming mental barriers such as stress, anxiety, poor focus, emotional dysregulation. And these really tailored processes enhance brain function by influencing the neural pathways, boosting cognitive flexibility, and it's that the brain's ability, the prefrontal cortex, is strengthened by that activity. So that helps your focus and concentration. Also can increase the anterior cingulate gyrus area of the brain to help with that emotional regulation. Lots and lots of benefits to mindfulness and meditation.
Okay, and one final question that we like to ask every guest here on the Deep Dive podcast. If there's one bit of advice in 30 seconds or less that you would like to give, what would that be?
Reduce sugar, processed sugar in your diet, because sugar shrinks the brain. Okay, so looking after your brain, embracing a brain healthy lifestyle with fresh fruit and vegetables, more omega-3 type things. Hydration, the brain's 80% water. It needs to be hydrated in order for the brain to work optimally. All of that.
Okay. And on that note, Nicole Yeates, thank you very much for being part of the Deep Dive podcast today.
It's my absolute pleasure. Have a great day.
For more information, go to getbrainfit.com.au